I do somewhat take back that I love first dates so much because I actually think I prefer second dates.
Okay, interesting. Want to elaborate?
I prefer second dates because now you've gone on the first date. Clearly you're on the second date because you caught a vibe. And you're like, I'm feeling this person. I think I'm excited about this person. I want to get to know this person more. And you kind of have like, not an established like rapport, but
also like kind of a established
you
rapport.
You know what you're expecting a little bit more. You saw them once. You're excited to see them again.
You wanted to see them again.
Exactly.
This could be more. Now you're starting to like fantasize a little bit.
Exactly. And I find that people open up a lot. Like second date, you find out some things about a person.
Like how they cheated on
exactly. Except that man was not following this this timeline as we are trying to. We're so kindly laying out for everyone. No, he was on his own timeline.
He was on demon time.
Yes, he was on demon time. 100%.
That guy was crazy.
Don't know what was going on.
Oh my goodness.
But like I had even said with that, like usually around the second date, I like to talk about my own or asking the other person. I think this is a great time to ask, like, what's your dating history? Like, ask them about their previous relationships. I think that brings up, it reveals so much about a person, not only like how the relationship began and ended, but the way that they talk about it too, dude. Like, you don't, especially as a girl, you don't want a guy saying my ex was crazy.
Yeah, fuck that bitch.
Right? Like, is that the first thing that's coming out of your mouth? Like you're saying, you're just calling this woman crazy? Like at the gate? I don't even know her. Like, why are you speaking on her name like that? Unless she literally was, like, unless he was like, no, let me explain.
Yeah. And then
she burned my house down because I like didn't respond to her text message. Like, I don't know.
And you can definitely tell the difference between like a person who is like, hasn't healed from the experience versus a person who's like, looking at it just objectively.
Right.
Like, no, that girl was like actually insane. And
right.
I'm very shook that I spent so much time with her.
Right.
Stuff. Versus
right.
like, oh, fuck her. She's like just
She's
crazy.
Yeah. So
man.
dismissive.
Yeah.
Right?
And I think that also really conveniently leads into what they're looking for, where their intentions are in relation to yours, right? Because if they just broke up like a week ago, they're probably not ready to hop back into a long-term relationship.
Right.
And if you're ready for that, might not be the person for you in that space. Or you can see where they are in relation to all that stuff.
Yeah, no, 100%. Super important. I always, people who say like, or there shouldn't be any fear around someone wanting or you wanting to ask the person that you're dating fairly early on what they're looking for. I think it's a super important question. You want to make sure at multiple stages throughout like dating that you and the other person are on the same page.
Yeah, 100%.
I would argue even in like a casual dating situation, but that's a whole other thing of just like making sure you're on the same page of like what you're looking for. And it doesn't have to be specifically with that person. But even kind of going to that, like, what does that like, when someone asks like, what are you looking for? And they're like, okay, what's the answer? Like, what's like the right answer that like one should give?
Sure.
And at least from my perspective, and I want to hear what you have to say. Like, I think basically this is what I said when I was starting to seriously date was just like, hey, like I am looking for something more serious. I'm not really looking to like have casual interactions and whatnot. Obviously, like I'm not, like married to the idea of like being in a relationship, but it is something that like while I'm dating, that is something that I'm looking for. I'm not dating casually. I'm not just dating anyone. Like I'm seeing if like this could be something more, right? And kind of leaving that because you don't want the relationship hoppers. you don't want the people. I'm looking.
Yeah, me too. I just broke up though.
I'm looking for a relationship with literally anyone. Are you here? Are you ready? Will you take me?
I'm ready, but sir,
not for you, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't want that, and then and also just like you don't want the people who are just like looking for a situationship. And obviously, anyone can say anything to your face.
True. True.
But kind of those initial, just like it's good to know that is at least like said, right? What those expectations are.
And truly, if that is asked on the second date pretty early on, it catches people off guard in a very interesting way because you don't have a lot of time to like craft a certain answer that you think that they're looking for, because especially if the person who's wanting a long-term situation is asking it, do they throw that question back at you? What are they saying? Are they being honest? You can easily tell. Second day, it's like,
are they like hesitating? Are they like,
are they choosing their words?
Right.
Are they trying to be dodgy or whatever?
Right.
Like you said, the question that, or the answer that you gave was very, like, spot on.
Yeah.
I'm open to exploring this with you, but my end goal is this.
Yeah.
And like you were saying, I think too many people are so scared of ruining something good because their expectations don't align.
But why would you want that if your expectations are aligned?
That's the thing. It's like, no, I really like him. And that's, I think this is where people like kind of settle in that, is that you already went on this date and you've probably been on a couple other dates and they're not as interesting as this guy.
Yeah.
Right. So it's, damn, I either have to start from scratch or continue exploring with this person in the hope that we start aligning.
Yeah.
Right? Which is very fair. I understand it.
Yeah, I get it. And usually
it's better to cut your losses.
Right. And to be brave enough for yourself to ask those questions like up front. I think oftentimes too, the reason why people won't ask these questions the initial like first like second on the second date is because they're afraid to know the answer, because they're afraid like, oh, I really like this person. You know, you've only been on one date with them. Stop fantasizing about that future. Get that out of your head.
It's hard. I love it.
Get it out of your head. You don't know him yet.
I know enough. What? I know enough to fantasize.
Fair enough. So you don't want to know the answer. You know, essentially, you're afraid of what that answer can be, but it can potentially, not entirely, it's not foolproof, but can set you up for better success if you do have that answer. Because if you do get an answer where it's like iffy, wishy-washy, or they're just like outright not looking for what you're looking for, that you can have then the courage and the self-respect for yourself to then effectively move on from that, because it's not this they're giving you the reality, not the fantasy that you were just looking for.
And believe what people tell you.
Right.
And with every person that's out there telling you one thing that's not aligned with you, there's going to be a person that will align with you. You just have to take the time to find those people and align with them.
Yeah.